Well, welcome to Hot Dipped. We're joined here by a longtime Hall of Fame employee, Mark Cazzell. He's been doing it a long time. Mark, how long you been with the company?
March 22nd will be 26 years.
26 years. Wow. That's a lot of loyalty. We appreciate that. And um, do you remember the circumstances that brought you to us? Or
Yeah, I just got out of prison and I done put in like 100 applications and came down here and I talked to Ryan and John Bean. And Ryan said the same thing. The other 100 people said, well, we'll call you if we need you. You know, I figured, well, that's just a good way to get rid of him. Well, I got home, sat down in a chair, turned the TV on, and the phone rang. It was Ryan. Said, can you be at work tomorrow? I said, yes, sir. I can be there. What time? He said, 7. I said, I'll be there at 6. So I come in, and I was there at 6, and I was walking around just looking things over, and Tom asked me, he said, who are you? I said, well, Ryan told me to come to work today. He said, well, if you're going to be here, time in and get to work. And then at the end of the day, he come up and said, well, can you come in at 6 every morning? I said, yes, sir. And I've been coming in early ever since.
wow. And you have a gift when it comes to all things mechanics, maintenance, and figuring things out. Um, would you say you were born with that gift, or something you worked on, or how did you come about with that talent?
I don't know, I'm probably born with it. My dad was a mechanic and his too.
Yeah, and you have the opportunity to work with some of your family members, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I got both my boys working here, Curtis Gaither and Lucas Gaither. And then I got my grandson, Hunter, working here too. So there's 4 of us.
Would you say that talent when it comes to maintenance runs in the family?
Yes, sir.
And it absolutely does. It's amazing what you and your family can do to fix anything, I swear. Are there ever challenges working with the family members, or
Well, not too much, really. I get along with both of them. And they're both got more smarts than I do.
they are sharp kids? But I don't know about that. You're one of the smartest guys I've ever met, Mark.
Well, if I can't fix it, I can go get Luke or Kurt, and together we can.
Absolutely. And just so everybody knows, when you're talking about Ryan earlier, you're talking about Ryan Monnig. That's Tony Monning's boy, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So, and I think your career started here. Tony was still working here, wasn't he?
Yes.
So, how many years did you think you overlapped with Tony?
Oh, I think the first year I was in the shop was the year he quit. So I was 5 years.
Yeah. Would you say you learned some things from Tony?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And Ryan seems to have that same kind of skill set that Tony had too. I think there is something to maintenance and being able to fix things and figure things out. It does kind of run in families, doesn't it?
Right. I wish Ryan was in the shop with us full time and not doing everything else.
And probably if you ask him, I don't want to put words in Mr. Ryan Monning's mouth there, but I bet he'd say there's a lot of times he'd prefer to be there too.
Right.
I love watching when there's a challenge, like a new product to run, or there's a kettle issue, and you guys getting together, just the way you guys work together to figure things out. It's an amazing thing to see. Do you have any thoughts on that, on how that works? Or
We just do the job best we can. I mean, a lot of things are cobbled up, you know. There's nothing you can do with them.
yeah.
But
And you said 26 years coming up, is that right? So, man, you
just
know,
a few days.
I know we've made a lot of mistakes as a company in that time trying to figure out how to manage growth and take care of our people, and we've made a lot of mistakes along the way. And you've been very loyal, and a whole bunch of other people have too. We've got some amazing people down
Yes,
here.
you do.
Has it been a challenging, and have there been good things and bad things as we go through it and we try things and we mess up and we try different things, and has some of that been frustrating at times? And
Oh, yeah.
and
Yes,
what
sir.
has allowed you to be able to stick that out, even when we're making mistakes and we're trying to do the right things, but we don't always get it right. But you've been patient with us.
Well, I make mistakes too, so, you know, you got to forgive a little, right?
Yeah.
Everybody does it. So,
And you've been involved in a lot of projects, not just in Glasgow.
right.
You've probably worked on projects in every plant, I'd imagine.
Every plant.
So can you talk about the progression? This plant in Glasgow was very modern back in 1960, all the way to the most recent one in Indiana. There in Lafayette was, is not even 8 years old, right at it, by the time we opened,
Mhm.
and everything in between. We were Universal, and we relocated that one, and
St.
we
Peter's.
St. Peter's. Yep, went from St. Peter's to Wright City. Then we had Middlebury, Indiana, and Trenton, Tennessee. And do you think we've improved each time we've designed a new plant and made things a little better? Would you agree with that statement?
Everything except them 13-foot, 6 deep kettles. I don't agree with that one.
What kind of challenges those pose to a maintenance person like yourself?
Okay, when we built the kettle walls, I didn't get to measure them, so we got out there. They're an inch and a half too tall, the walls we built. So we had to cut them off. But then the 13-foot kettle grew so much, it pulled it up off the floor. Now you got a crack at the bottom blowing heat out. And it melted most everything down there.
I remember that. And that was probably a challenge to fix, wasn't it?
So now we got to figure out how much it's going to grow for the next ones.
Yeah. What about working on a kettle with the amount of space in the firebox area and around the firebox area in Glasgow versus some of the newer plants? Does that matter to you, having more room to operate down there?
Yes, it does. And making your pad on the bottom tall enough that if the zinc runs out, it doesn't get up into your air pipes and gas pipes. Right?
Yep,
That makes sense.
it does. How many kettle swaps would you say you've probably worked on, or kettle installations? How many kettles?
3 in Wright City, 2 in Tennessee, built both of them in Indiana, and 1 in Middlebury, 2 in Middlebury.
It's a lot of experience.
And worked a little bit in St. Peter's, quite a little bit. Helped them tear the old kettles out and move to the new plant. We spent a year there on the, like we started in August and we finished it, started running product in August at Wright City.
Absolutely, yeah. That was quite a project. Would you say it is more or less challenging, in your opinion, to take a building like existed in Wright City, in that case it's a concrete building, and maybe that matters, and turn that into a galvanizing plant versus dig a hole in the ground for your kettles and start from scratch and build a building? Which works out better in your opinion?
Well, putting a galvanizing plant in an existing building is more challenging than building one around one.
Yeah. Which one was harder out of the ones you worked on? So we did that at Wright City, we did that in Middlebury, we did that in Trenton. I guess really the only one we've built from scratch in your time here is in Lafayette. So out of the three that we took an existing building, which one was the most challenging?
Wright City,
Wright City. And what would you say is the reason for
the
that?
concrete
Concrete.
building, wooden steel. I can't weld on concrete.
Yeah. And it seems like at Wright City, you guys have constantly been working. And I know we've tried some different companies with cranes. I've heard some theories floated around there, and I've never really got the opportunity to ask you. Do you think the concrete building has anything to do with holding acid or fumes or anything in terms of our ability to maintain cranes at Wright City, or you think it's just not having the right cranes, or at times maybe not doing proper maintenance?
A little bit of all of it, I think. Yes, sir. We don't have the ventilation they do, and we get by.
Yeah.
I think our plant's the best one out of all of them.
It is amazing when you think about what this plant built in 1960 was designed for, how much has been added on, and the volume of steel going through it now versus then. I mean, I don't know how you guys have done it, but you've managed to adapt this plant to handle the volume. Do you have any comments on that or the challenges with that?
They just added 33-foot tanks. You know, that's about all we done to it. It took up every bit of room we had, too. You can't go no wider.
Yeah.
So
How about your opinion on air hoist versus, a lot of galvanizing plants still use those electric at the kettle. And Dad told a story once that it was a major increase in production when he switched to air from electric. And you still think in the modern era that that's the way to go? Or
yes, sir. Electricity and zinc don't get along.
yeah.
I think it's probably dangerous.
And is it becoming harder or not really to find the parts we need for our air hoist?
It's extremely hard to find for Ingersoll, but you could get other hoists, but they're not as good a hoist.
Yeah. Now, here's something I wanted to ask you about because you hit on it earlier, and I think this is all the maintenance stuff is super important, incredibly important to who we are. And you guys do an amazing job. We couldn't do it without good maintenance. But I really wanted to ask you about something you said before about um, needing a second chance, getting a second chance, and then doing an amazing job here, having a lot of success here. And yeah, that's your story. But I think there's lots of stories like that with our company. Some of our best people were people that needed a second chance. Maybe you couldn't always get it, but when they did, they've really done well. In my opinion, I mean, do you agree with that? There, you have a good story here, but there's several other people too. Would you agree with
Right.
that?
Yes.
And
You
there's a
gotta
lot of
want to
loyalty.
have that second chance, so
Yeah. So you really think it was? How many did you say that you tried to apply for before you got?
probably 100 applications in before I put one in with you guys.
Wow, wow, and the rest is history. I don't know where we'd be without you and your family. It's been phenomenal. And where are you from originally, Mark? So everybody,
Well, I was born in Triplet, Missouri,
the mighty metropolis of Triplet.
and grew up in Keatsville.
Nice.
And my first home with my wife was Marceline.
How
And then
about that?
we moved back to Triplet. And then we moved here to Glasgow.
What year did you move to Glasgow?
'05.
Oh five. Do you like living in Glasgow?
Yeah. Nobody
Nice.
bothers me up here.
So were you and your wife high school sweethearts, or how'd you meet?
I met her on the 4th of July, first year I got out of the Navy, at the carnival there they have every year on the 4th.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service too. That's another thing that we're very blessed to say here in our company. We have a lot of service members here, and it's just a blessing to have you guys around here. Um, can you reflect on your time in the service? Do you think that helped make you who you are today, or?
Oh, yeah. So I went through aviation electrician. So I went through basic electricity and electronics and AEA school, and then a school to learn how to work on S5 autopilots for the A3 aircraft.
Nice. So where were you stationed out of, and where did you do most of your training when you joined the military?
I went to boot camp Great Lakes, went to electric school in Millington, Tennessee, then went to Norfolk, Virginia for ramp school, and then Guam.
Wow, Guam. So how was Guam?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Out of all the places you visited in your life, how does Guam rank compared to all the others?
Second, probably,
Second to what?
Philippines.
Philippines. That sounds like a pretty awesome place too.
Oh, it is.
How much time did you get at the Philippines?
2 weeks.
Wow. Did you get to have any fun, or was it all
Oh,
work?
it was all fun. It was
Oh,
just,
good.
yeah, R&R. Actually, I.
Yeah. And I know you like music. What's the best concert you've ever been to?
The one in Mobley with Head East, Missouri. I forget the other two that was there. There was 4 bands there, but Head East in Missouri.
Nice. You still get to the tracks at all?
Oh, yeah. We just went down to the St. Louis to the NHRA drag races.
Nice. Who went with you?
Curtis and Jordy. Curtis is the other boy.
Is it fun to look back and pause and think, hey, I'm here with three generations?
Right.
Got to enjoy those moments.
Yeah. We got him a cylinder sleeve off one of the race cars down there, and little cards from every driver.
Nice.
Yeah, we had fun down there.
That sounds like it.
You wouldn't believe how much they shake you going by.
I've been to some events, but not near as many as you have. Not the one in St. Louis, but what's the name of that town down in South Missouri? I think I was at an event the same time you were. I took Brett down to south of Warsaw, um, or at least your sons were there. There's a track down there.
Oh, down at Wheatland.
Wheatland, that's right. That's an impressive facility. I
Yes.
had never been there, and you're driving through a tiny town, and you've got this magnificent track. So how often do you get down to Wheatland?
I've been down there 3 times with the grandkids.
Nice.
We're
That's
going again this
that's the
summer.
Lucas Oil
Right.
facility. Yep, it's nice.
If you think the drag boats are loud, they ain't nothing compared to the rails and the funny cars.
I bet that's right. So how else do you like to spend free time? I know you probably don't get a ton of it, but what's something you enjoy doing?
Fishing, mushroom hunting, turkey hunting.
It's about to be mushroom hunting. Any
Yeah.
secret spots you'd like to tell the crowd about? So
No, I wouldn't want to tell my mushroom spots.
I think you and Jeremiah see that the same way.
Hell, Jeremiah's got him in his yard. I know he does.
Yeah, he's got a secret stash.
I got them in my yard, in that little strip on the other side of the street.
Yeah, you can't beat growing up in a rural area, in my opinion. And you got that privilege of growing up in a rural area. Did you ever live in a more urban setting in a big city?
No, I lived in Marshall for a year when I
Yeah.
worked at ConAgra.
And what do you think about Marshall compared to Triplet or Glasgow or Keatsville?
They can have it.
They can have it,
Yeah,
100%.
I didn't lose nothing over there. We do go over there quite a bit though. To that, he's got slot cars. He likes to run on that track over there at Simpson or Sampson's.
Yeah, yeah, there's some good times over there. You can always visit a bigger city, right, and come home to your rural setting. I agree with that. That's the way to go. Um, we've had the privilege of also working with some amazing partners that help us sometimes on burners or with certain equipment. And I can think of a few that I'd probably think, but you work with them every day. If you were gonna, give a special shout out to some of those that we really count on day in and day out, who would those be?
Be Glenn Hilsdick from Hilsdick Electric,
Legendary.
but he's retired now, so we lost that. And then some of the guys from BDC, most of them are gone too.
Learn a lot from those guys, huh? What about Chip?
Junior,
Oh,
and
Junior,
Chip
Junior for
from
sure.
IBT,
Yep.
yes, he's been very instrumental in building things around here.
He's another one of those guys. I feel like if you get Chip and Ryan and you and your boys together and the team back there, there's not many problems you guys can't solve, right? When you put your
Exactly.
heads together.
Might take a few tries, but we'll get it.
And I don't know how many times we've had professional engineers with the fancy degrees come in from customers or other suppliers and trying to figure things out, and they can go back and they can never replicate quite what it is you guys can do. I mean, it just seems like you guys have this uncanny ability to do things and do things quickly and get them right. And it might not be the first time or the second time, but you can usually figure out pretty quick what adjustments you need to make. It's just really impressive.
Hmm. Oh, well, I rode the short bus to school, you know.
Well, whatever bus it was the right bus. So, I want to get a lot of people in here and tell stories, and not just work, yes, work related, but not also their personal lives, kind of like what we're doing here. Who all would you recommend we get in here? We were talking like getting Tony and maybe Dad in here together, people, Jared, and
My
Johnny
brother,
Isle.
Tony?
Yes.
No, you don't.
No,
No,
I was
you
talking about
don't.
I was talking about Ryan's dad, Tony, and
Oh,
Dad.
yeah,
But no,
yeah.
I'd like to have any. But who would you recommend? I mean, you've worked with a lot of these great people for so long. Who's got some good stories?
Greg Monnig ought to have some.
Oh yeah,
And he's your best galvanizer you got out
he's
there
amazing.
right now.
Yep.
He don't play around when he's working. He
Yeah.
gets it. Reggie would be another good one.
He's in the Hall of Fame too. Both those guys are. Yep.
Right. Some of the new guys like Sam, he's been amazing in the shop since we've had him. I think he ain't been here but a year.
I'm glad to hear you say that. There are those that I've heard say that the new generation, they'll never get it. We're not going to get where we need to go. The work ethic's not there. The skills aren't there. But it sounds like that's not always the case. That there
No.
are some really good ones too, right? Aren't there?
Sam's really good.
Yeah, we're very blessed to have, and I'm sure, and they're blessed to learn from people like you and your boys.
Right.
It takes both the younger and the people that've been around the block a few times, doesn't it?
Well, they can teach you things too,
Yeah.
during the day.
Boy, they can program that plasma and everything. Can't they? Your boy does.
Yeah, I
a good
wish
job
I
of
was
that.
better on that, computers and stuff, but
I-
it's too late for me.
Some smart people have said, surround yourself with people who know how to do the things that you don't know how to do, and then you can figure it out
Exactly.
together. That's what a team does.
Yeah, Luke's really good at that. Kurt's good at it. They grew up with it.
Yeah. Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Mhm.
I think I break my phone every time I pull it out of my pocket.
It's like you take somebody that grew up on heavy equipment, they're amazing operators.
Yep.
People that come in off the street, never done it before, never get it.
So we also have a lot of farmers that work here. And do you think that adds value with
Oh,
somebody's been
yeah.
a farmer? Yeah. So
Bale and wire and screwdriver, fix anything.
that's right. Because usually you don't have the parts you need, do you?
Nope.
But the line's waiting on you.
I keep parts though.
Yeah. How do you know which parts to keep? There's a lot of them.
I know, but we go through a lot of them, so we kind of know which one. If I use one and only got one, I get two.
Yeah. What do you think about the local part stores and things like that? Would you if they were listening, what would you like them to hear you say, like the Glasgow Equipments and the CarQuest and that
We
sort of
use
thing?
them a lot. The Cross down there, they get all our skimming boards for us. But Wright City just gets a bundle, 10-foot bundle, and they cut their own.
Yep.
So Cross could do that for us, and they wouldn't have to cut them. They got a saw back there.
That might be something that's worth talking to him about.
Because, we cut them in 5-foot boards so they fit the kettle. They
Yep.
always end up cutting 2 or 3 inches off of them every time.
Yep. Yeah. Well, for a small town like Glasgow, 1,100 people or whatever it is, we are pretty blessed to have the access to stuff we do have, aren't we?
Yeah, and John Deere out there,
Yep.
Glasgow equipment. A lot of times they saved us.
Yep. For sure.
Chain and bearings and sprockets.
Absolutely. Um, and your wife has worked in Glasgow too. Tell us about where she's worked at here.
She worked at American Discovery and Penny Plate.
She enjoy those?
I think she done the American Discovery sewing better than Penny Plate. Penny Plate, you just put pans in a box all day.
Yep.
Out there, she got to do different things.
That's right. And she had the same work ethic you did, and just a phenomenal person. Glasgow's very blessed to have you guys in this town.
Well, thank you.
Anything else you'd like to say to anybody that might be considering the trades or maybe working at a tough job like galvanizing and all that stuff? They might not want to go to college, but just what advice would you give somebody kind of trying to decide, how do I know if I want to work in that environment?
I wouldn't tell. I just answer that. I'd say the School of Hard Knocks teaches you way better than any college, though.
Yeah.
So,
You don't know until you try it.
and nowadays, they're going to let you use your experience toward college credits.
Yeah. So you feel like people are more open-minded to letting people use their education time to learn hands-on education, because that is absolutely just the book stuff's not for everybody. I've got 7 kids, and I've got definitely my oldest one who wants to get his hands on everything. He wants to do the bare minimum with the books and get out there and do something.
Right.
It takes all kinds to make the world go around, doesn't it?
It does. Yep.
Wow. Well, what a blessing to have Mark Cazzell here with us today, but also with the company and the family and your family with our family. You guys are a tremendous asset to our family, the community, the business, and we really appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you guys, too.
Likewise.
You saved me 26 years ago.
Maybe it had something to do with that.
Realize it, but
Maybe a little bit one time. You have saved us over and over again since. Every single day you're saving us.
I was given 2 weeks to find a job or go back. I was on the middle of my 2nd week before I found you. So
And Ryan Monnig.
I was just a couple of days from.
Well, it worked out well for both of us. And Mr. Ryan Monnig sitting out there, and he was a part of that first interview. And I don't think you can see him from where you're sitting, but what would you say to Ryan Monnig about giving you a chance?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I hope I've earned it.
I don't want to speak for him, but I know what he would say a billion times over every day. So blessed to have you on the team.
Well, that's why I try.
Yeah.
Because y'all try.
Yeah.
Wasn't for you, Glasgow wouldn't even be here, probably.
I don't know about that's a two-way street too. I don't think we'd be here without the town. I mean, we try to take care of the town when we can, and we go through time like the flood. The town rallies behind us and helps us out too. So.
Okay. Yeah, the flood was something else, wasn't it?
Ooh, do you remember much about that day? Like,
Yes.
did you know we had a problem before you arrived here, or?
No. I drove to the water and wow.
Never seen anything quite like that, had you?
The first week we had 1 kettle running, and 6 weeks we had 3 of them running.
No better crew to do it than that. I mean, even the challenges at Wright City over the last year, I mean, I'd challenge any crew to do a better job getting the plant back operational after, like, the fire at Wright City, the flood here. It's not always perfect, but you guys do an amazing job getting us back fast, time and time again.
It's our job too, right? I mean, don't want to lose it.
Said every superhero always, but that's what you guys are, superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't believe it. But
We're pretty proud of you guys, and we know we wouldn't be here without you guys. And that's your generation. That's even going back to Ryan Monnig and everybody worked there before that. Uncle Tom, when he was there. We want to preserve as much of the past as we can because we can learn a lot from the people that built this place.
Tom was a great old man.
Yes, he was. Do you have any good Tom stories you'd like to share?
Not really. I mean, he gave me the best cigar I ever smoked. And he liked drinking beer with us.
Yes, he
On
did.
Saturdays when we was Drawsome.
Yeah, where did we used to get that aluminum for those kettles?
I don't know. You get the cans to put
The
in there?
cans, that's right.
Did that work?
Well, it seemed to. I mean,
That was before my time.
that's
I
right.
guess.
Did you know Billy Lewis much?
Oh yeah.
Now, could he put down a beer or two in his time?
Yes, sir. He could.
Yeah,
Reggie could too.
Reggie could. John Bean like a drink from time to time.
You know, I don't know if John ever drank with us or not.
I think I heard Ryan say it, and not there, but yeah, I just remember some bowling stories. You know, I wasn't there, but
I know a good story about Jeremiah from out to the cabin on his.
the world would love to hear that. By the way,
We're not going to tell that one.
we'll get Jeremiah in here, and you guys can tell that one together.
With the flashlight.
Yeah. We'll have an after hours version of this sometime. Put some good stories down. Well, we've had a lot of amazing people. Still a lot of amazing people here now. A lot of amazing people came before those people to make this place what it is today, and every one of them made an important contribution. Any other old timers that we haven't seen maybe in a while that you think we should remember more often than we do? Any other thoughts on that?
Kenny Dibble.
Kenny Dibble. There's a name. Yeah.
And Wendell Gessling.
Wendell Gessling.
Wendell was the baddest crane operator you ever had.
He was too, and was he one of them that also didn't get to enjoy his retirement very long?
Right.
Unfortunately,
He died at 50.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Yeah, he said Kenny Dibble, and yeah.
Big Boone.
Boone was the
Boone
man.
was a hell
Boone
of a
used to
skimmer.
bring us some food too, didn't he?
Yes.
He can make some breakfast sandwiches. I know that, and some other stuff
Them
too.
hoagies he had was wonderful.
Yeah, they were wonderful. Man, there were a lot of good old days with that group.
Kind of draw a blank when you're trying to think of things back then, and they hit you later.
That's right. That's why we'll do this more than once. We'll do some editing. We'll get, but that's part of the reason we want to do this is tell everybody's story. You know, everybody deserves to be remembered, especially anybody that was a strong enough person to survive and work well in this environment. It's not easy work, is it? I mean,
No,
on its best day, it's not easy, is it?
And you got to work on everything.
Yeah.
You know, the whole place. We can do it all. I got a good crew.
That's right. It's interesting you say that because you're not just an electrical specialist or an HVAC specialist or a welder. You got to do it all, right?
Right. We work on toilets to bridge cranes.
What's your favorite thing to work on? Do you like things to be more challenging, or do you like kind of the simple tasks and
I
them
like
knocked off?
building things back in the shop,
Yeah.
welding it together and
I think you're good at a lot of things.
try to make it better every time you build another one, make it a little better than the one you just did.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're fantastic at a lot of things, but I think that might be your best talent is here's the problem, help us find a solution. It's amazing. Is that a wrap, guys? All right.
Yay.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
I was looking for my beer.
Well, we need to get some of that.
Thank you for watching Hot Dipped. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell for future episodes.